So, real quick, I want to address something. And I don't want to give this a lot of time because at this point, and honestly, I ain't shit. My content ain't shit. But I don't want to give too much of my time out to this dumbass. But this does need to be addressed because it represents a broader issue that's taking place. So there's an Instagram account called Foreverdanzee. Forever Ban Locked, whatever his fucking name is. Now, what he does is he posts content and he's really milking this stuff up because it's Black History Month, of course. So what he does is basically, these are the types of videos that he does. Locking my car doors while white people walk by. Questioning white people if they belong in the community. Being a Karen to whites. Asking white people for receipts at checkout. Cutting white people in line at Target during Black History Month. Touching white man's hair without asking during Black History Month. Touching white woman's hair without asking. Making white women hold the door open for me during Black History Month. Telling white people I'm proud of them exploring veganism because they used to eat black people. Breaking up interracial couples for Black History Month. Have a white person pay for your groceries. Okay. Now, I read you all those titles, right? Now, for the sake of this video, everybody knows how I feel about the R word, racism. I do not like using that word, but I'm going to use that for the sake of this podcast so that you understand what I'm saying. Because that's the word that resonates the most with people. So I'm going to use that word just for this sake alone. Okay? Following me? Now, these are the same people that constantly complain that whites have an oppressive system and that whites are racist towards minorities. We'll say, and for the sake of this, we'll say whites are racist towards blacks. Because a lot of black Americans act like they're the only minorities that have ever been oppressed by any system. We don't care about any of the other groups of people. We just care about us. That's, again, another topic. But here's my problem with this, right? People are like, get to the point. Get to the point. Here's the point. If your entire argument is that whites are oppressive, whites are racist, how are you contributing to anything by doing that same oppression that you bitch about that whites have done to you by doing it back to them? How are you making the world a better place and ridding it of racism, as you call it? You say racism is evil by then perpetrating that same evil back to whites and milking it for content on top of it. Now, maybe if he was funny about it, maybe then I'd give it a pass. But these videos, and if you look at the comments of these videos, these aren't tongue-in-cheek comments. 90% of these comments are all black Americans talking about how they love that white people are going through that. They want white people to go through racism and oppression, just like their, quote, ancestors did. They want whites to be afraid. They want whites to go extinct. These are the comments on this guy's videos. Now, here's an interesting thing. Instagram, of course, allows these comments to be up. They're not going to remove those comments. Now, if that was the other way around, Instagram would take those comments down in seconds. But they're allowed to stay up. And people are defending his content, saying he's funny. He has 322,000 followers on his Instagram. Now, I just want to be clear about something, so people don't get it twisted. I, the Gentile defender, am against all bigotry of any kind. I don't support any kind of bigotry. And the historical things that have been done to blacks are 100% wrong. In every metric, I condemn it. However, what's happening today and the hatred that's used and the historical events that are cited to allow for white hatred and hatred of white people is completely ridiculous. It has gone way over the top at this point, to almost to the point where these black Americans get on these, everything is the white man's fault. Oh, I slipped in my bathroom this morning, too much water on the ground. It's the white man. That is a problem. That is a problem, because if everything is the fault of someone else, where are you taking any accountability at? Especially men. Men, first and foremost, as a man, you are required to take accountability for every action that you do. No one else is at fault for your actions. That's part of being a man. And I've talked about this victimhood mindset shit on the podcast before. Now, here's another thing. If the shoe was on the other foot and you had a white person making content like this that kind of is distasteful, they would immediately have their account removed. But this guy, I just mentioned how many followers he had, so he's getting a little chunk from Instagram for making these reels. On top of it, he's getting some money. So he gets paid to be racist and hateful towards whites. And I watched his content too. He doesn't tell the people involved that it was a joke or anything else. He keeps pressing on like this is a serious event. So the way he makes these content seem to the other person, you would never know that this was like some practical joke or anything. He comes off as a legitimate person that has this white bigotry, that has this entitlement that because I'm black and it's Black History Month and you're white and your ancestors allegedly did this to me, you have to do this for me now. It's 100% wrong. It's 100% wrong in every metric. You can't say, I'm against racism and I'm against this horrible bigotry of the past and crimes against my people, then advocate for crimes against the people. And I'm not interested, like I said, in talking about this for a long period of time because this fucking idiot doesn't even fucking deserve clout. But again, this is a broader point that I'm bringing to this here. These are some of his other videos. Making white people go to the back of the bus. Again, touching white woman's hair without asking. What even is this shit? I mean, that's assault. You don't put your hands on people. You don't fucking put your hands on somebody. You don't know that. You don't put your hands on someone. You don't touch someone. But again, he's going to get away with it because he's black. And he's doing it in the name of black justice. So he'll get away with it. Questioning white men while they're jogging. I mean, it's just... And believe it or not, by the way, it gets even worse. Let me see some of these other ones. I mean, this is absolutely unbelievable. This guy's actually allowed to post this shit. Coughing on white people while they order food. This is the content this guy puts out here. Could you imagine if somebody posted a reel on Instagram that said coughing on black people while they order food? How long would you think that reel is going to stay up on the internet? For those of you morons that still say white supremacy, then a video like that would certainly stay up on the internet then, wouldn't it? Then tell me why it wouldn't. You tell me, you show me a video that says coughing on black people while they order food. You show me a video like that on the internet. I'll wait. Oh, that's right, because it doesn't exist. But this guy can post whatever the hell he wants. See, I'm tired of these black Americans saying that they want justice and equality. Hell, Jesse Jackson just died, for crying out loud. You want justice and equality? No, you don't want that. You want what happened to you to happen to whites. See, this is what I'm saying. This has nothing to do with equality and justice. This has nothing to do with any of that. They don't want to better their communities. They don't want to better themselves. They want to just use white people as an excuse to be way down on the totem pole. And they want white genocide. They want to terrorize whites. They want to commit violence onto whites and unleash the revenge that they feel is just in some way, which is a crazy thing to say. They have been so convoluted and manipulated by the J-ish media and so incited against whites, this is what they think that they have the right to do. And this is what I'm telling people. This is a big, big issue that we have in this country right now, is this anti-white hatred and rhetoric. People keep saying this reverse racism is a myth. It is absolutely not. Go on the internet right now. Go on this guy's channel and read any one of the comments on any of these reels. Read any comment that you want on his... I'm telling you right now, if I'm lying, I'm dying. Okay? The comments advocate for white extinction, and they think what he's doing is justice. So, again, these are the same people that when things happen to black Americans, when things happen to blacks, and it's at the hands of a white person, they go, that's racism, that's bigotry, that's bullshit. But then when a black person does it to a white person, it's suddenly okay because it's revenge. It's revenge for the past. I thought two wrongs don't make a right. I thought two wrongs don't make a right here. And that collectivism thing is interesting too, because even if we said it was just a group of people doing it, why are we going to punish the entire white race or the entire black race? They say that when we talk about the gangs, when we talk about Irina Zarutska's killer and all these people doing these black on white crimes, they say, well, that's just one individual, or that's just this individual. But then when white people do something, they go, usual suspects. So it's funny, whites get accused of applying collectivism to them, but they're the ones that apply collectivism to us. Like I said, I'm not going to take a lot of time. I was just so disgusted I had to speak on this. And like I said, the broader point of this anti-white rhetoric and hatred. Now, I would love to debate this idiot, but I can guarantee you he's not intellectual enough to have a debate. I think, I've seen some of his reels. He claims to be a big black activist, big freedom fighter. I think he's a fan of Dr. Umar Johnson. Oh yeah, Dr. Umar Johnson, the same guy that slept with white women for 10 plus years and dated a bunch of white girls and had orgies with them in college, and now claims that being with a white woman is like being with the devil. Yeah, that Dr. Umar Johnson, real credible there. Oh yeah. Yeah, real credible source. He's probably, I wouldn't doubt it if he's like a Hebrew Israelite, or he's probably a wannabe Hebrew Israelite. I don't even think he could make one of these One West camps out here. He doesn't even seem like he has the discipline. They at least require a little bit of discipline. This guy has no fucking discipline. Not an ounce of it. But I'm just tired of this white supremacy shit that they claim. Oh, it's white supremacy. We're under this white system. If we were under a white system, content like this would not even be allowed. And he'd probably be arrested for doing shit like this. Coughing on people and then touching people, that's assault. There's no other way around that. Touching people without their consent, that's assault. But is he going to face any charges? No, of course he's not. He's making content after all. Then he makes money off of it. Like I said, show me a white person doing the equivalent of this anywhere on the internet. It'd be removed in seconds. And then show me that white person's then making money off of that same content. You're not going to find it because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And those of you who don't think this is a problem, I'd love to hear your argument. You know where to find me. Let's debate it. You don't think this anti-white rhetoric is an issue? You think this is justice? You think what happened 400 years ago, 300, 200 years ago, should be collectively applied to everybody today? You think that's justice? It's not humanity's place to judge. I know people don't like that because people think that they're able to do that. But I'm going to put it this way. Even the Bible talks about righteous judgment. None of these people that I'm talking about are righteous. So they have no right to judge. They're not coming from... You think this guy's coming from a place of the Most High? No, he just hates white people. See, that's another thing. The guys that they use go, well, it's in our spiritual energy to hate our oppressor. Who's your oppressor? Do you even know who your oppressor is? In these communities, who's the biggest enemy in these communities? Who do you need to look out for, when you head back late one night? Who do you need to look out for when you're walking down a dark alley? The system of white supremacy and oppression? No, you look for your fellow members of your community. The biggest threat to blacks are other blacks. And anyone who studies statistics, anyone who's been in these communities or been around these communities and heard stories already knows that. And like I said, educated people or people who live righteous lifestyles and wake up and are no longer subjugated to the propaganda, they leave these communities. They don't want any part of this toxic behavior, this niggatry that exists in these communities. this hatred, this absolute incitement and hatred of so-called white devils. And people don't think it's an issue. Like I said, let's debate it. Let's talk it out. You provide your evidence to back it up. I'll provide my evidence, and you'll get verbally destroyed by me. Because I've seen it, I've experienced it, I've exposed it, and anyone defending people who post things like this, I don't want people like that even listening to my podcasts. I mean, I'll debate you and verbally annihilate you, but don't need you listening to the podcasts. I have no interest in even sitting here and allowing anti-white creatures of the dark sitting here thinking that they're going to troll stalk my channel. It's not going to happen. So before I go, I'd like to say another thing is they constantly say, well, blacks can't be racist towards whites. They can't. Well, one of the dictionary definitions of racism, as they call it, again, like I said, you already know how I feel about this term, but for the sake of this, to relate to people so they understand what the fuck I'm saying, I'm using the term. So one of the definitions of racism that is up right now says to dehumanize people of another race. So look at some of these comments on these guys' reels where they call whites albino cave monkeys and say, we have no melanin, no sun protection, we're beasts. Is that not dehumanizing whites? So they are being racist. By their own definition of racism, they're being racist. Now, they say that this was done